Welcome to the Expanding Forward radio show. Conversations about juicy living. With your host, Carole Lewitsky.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Expanding Forward radio show. I'm your host, Carole Lewitsky, and today's topic is gratitude beyond what you've ever known it to be. If you're listening online, the chat room is open, so feel free to comment or ask questions. And if you're listening to this on a podcast, you can go to blogtalkradio.com/expandingforward and sign up for show reminders to catch the show live for future episodes. You can also connect with us on Facebook at Expanding Forward or contact me directly at carole@lewitsky.com. Today's show is on gratitude. We all know of gratitude and how important that is. We learn as young children to be grateful, to say thank you. But what does it mean beyond that? So today, I thought it would be a great topic to start the year with, since we can so easily just take things for granted and be in a space of forgetting to look at the things that we have in our life that make all the difference. So the guest we have today is Laura Gisborne, is someone that left a very deep impression for me when I met her and when I heard her story and I read her book, because she experienced things in her life that marked her and left a deep knowing as to why gratitude is not an option. It is what creates a heart-filled life that we can then live. So I don't want to wait very much longer here to have her on, because I'm excited to hear what she has to say. I'm so grateful that she was able to make the time to join us. Laura is an internationally recognized speaker and serves as a business consultant for business leaders. And her innovative business model of Legacy Leaders Global exemplifies that companies can be both profitable and purposeful. So through her initiatives, thousands of women and children are receiving regular contributions in multiple countries across 5 continents. And she is a living testament of gratitude and how that can play out very tangibly in our lives. So please welcome to our show, Laura Gisborne. Thank you, Laura, for being on our show today. How are you?
Hi, dear. I'm so glad to be with you. Thank you for having me. What an honor.
Well, it's not an exaggeration when I say that gratitude is what emanates from every aspect of your being. When I met you and as I got to know you better, it's really, you are the person that has left an imprint from my own experience to bring in gratitude in everything. So I'm excited for you to share with our listeners how that has played out in your life, and why do you make that such an important part of your business, your personal life, and everything that you do.
Thank you, sweetie. Yeah, I'm just honored again in all of your kind words. And everything that I share and have shared with you, it's all stuff that I've learned. So it's a great honor to be able to pay it forward and hope that it inspires someone else to live in a place that gives them some peace and grace and some joy in their lives. And, that's quite an honor to pay that forward.
Yeah, it is. It seems as though without that, it just creates an emptiness, right? I mean,
yeah,
we could try to attain and obtain and have all the physical possessions, but at the end of the day, will that bring us happiness? What would you say was a turning point?
Most people feel a little empty, right? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Sorry, there's a delay. But I was going to ask, what in your life did you find was a turning point? What kind of experiences did you have that helped you see that you couldn't keep going the way that you were, and what gave you strength to overcome those moments?
Well, I think it's probably, like most of us, probably a combination of experiences. There's the experience that I shared with you when we were together in Sedona of being, in a relationship that was extremely violent and abusive, and having an experience with my then partner when he said to me I should be grateful that he loved me so much that he was not going to break my nose when he was punching me. And that's a pretty intense thing to hear somebody say. But what was happening for me in the moment, because it was very much my normal, I was living in that world with a lot of scarcity and a lot of pain and a lot of violence, and it's just what I knew to be normal. It's what I knew to be real and true, and gratitude didn't live anywhere. So when he said that I should be grateful, obviously I knew that I shouldn't be grateful to be in this violent situation. Clearly I understood that, but the word grateful just started to stick with me, and I couldn't get it out of my brain, and I couldn't stop thinking, like, grateful. Why should I be grateful? And it was just, it's a word that clearly I understood, but I didn't have an experience of gratitude. And I realized that I lived my whole life with this feeling of not enough. I wasn't enough. There was never enough. No matter how much I worked, there was never enough money. No matter how hard I tried, there was never enough time. I felt lonely even when I was with other people. It was just on so many levels, feeling so much not enough. And it really started me on the journey when I began my healing, and I started to get some help. And a friend handed me Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life. And I started to see that life could be different. And I started to practice having life be different. And I think, this I talk about in my first book, Stop the Spinning, Move from Surviving to Thriving. I had to repattern how I was being in the world. I had to practice being kind. I had to fake it till I could make it, if you will, with giving people compliments, finding ways to see nice things and say nice things, right? And bring that into my daily practice, my daily way of being. And it was all foreign to me, but I somehow knew that in the practice of kindness, to others, and learning to have kindness for myself. At this point in time, I was doing a lot of counseling, and learning to just be okay with who I am, and learning to have more self-love. All of this started to change the trajectory of my life. It started changing my experience on a daily basis. It started changing who was showing up in my world. It started changing opportunities as they started to appear. And it's pretty good stuff. So then I decided I wanted more of it. Right? It's like, something's working here. This is good stuff. Let's do more. Right? And so, that was almost 30 years ago now. So I've had lots of time to...
Yeah, but it really is moments like that stand out from others. And then, like you said, interspersed throughout our lives, because we can easily start forgetting again. But the universe loves us so much that it'll keep reminding us and nudging us forward back onto the path of gratitude.
Yes, absolutely.
And within your work, how do you find, because I know you're quite well known for having incorporating philanthropy within your experience, even within your business, and which becomes your personal experience as well. And how do you find that helps to nurture your ability to live in gratitude even more?
Well, think about this. I don't know if you're familiar with, there's a man named Maslow, and there's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's kind of psychology 101, that as humans, we all kind of start in that survival mode, and then we learn to be connected to others, and you learn to be related. And then in the top of the pyramid, if you will, is a person being self-actualized, where they actually know who they are and what they're here to do. What I believe is that there's actually even a higher level of expression in humanity, and that's when we recognize that we get to give to others, that we actually have an opportunity to say, not only do I have enough, not only have I gotten some clarity about who I am and my purpose, but I actually have an overflow, right? So it's 180 degrees for me, from the place of never enough and the scarcity, which I see as a human condition. We see it show up for people in not having enough time, not having enough money, not having enough love, right? But what's really underneath that is the feeling that somehow we are not enough. And if we can live in a place where not only are we more than enough, but we have enough to give to others. We get to give, Carole. That's something that I just can't emphasize enough. There's something that happens in the stretching, in the giving, in the expanding, which I love, expanding forward. I love that as your brand and your company. When we expand, when we don't really think we have it to give, something about that stretch causes us to grow and become a better, bigger version of ourselves. And I'm path to just figure out how big can we get, right? Like, how much is there?
Right.
We know that there's billions of people on the planet that are still struggling for bare necessities. How can we, as creative business owners and as leaders, incorporate a little bit? Because what we know to be true is that movements create shift and that great things happen, but it's never one person. No one person will heal the planet. When we come together in community, and I know your listeners are all people like yourself who really care about helping others and making a difference with their work and their being here. When we come together in community, what's possible by all of us doing a little bit is magnificent and bigger than what we can perceive. So I say we should dream big and really eradicate poverty and work together to each of us do a little bit, but do it together so that we can do a whole lot.
Yeah, the power in numbers, right? And just the power in collective intention as well. And just even in our everyday being, like you talked earlier about just living in gratitude also can show up in having kindness, not only for others, but for ourselves. And I know just from my own experience with my children how this always stands out for me is that time when, right close after I had heard your story and it had left such an imprint for me and touched me deeply, I had shared the importance of gratitude with my children and encouraged them to go, I had shared this before, but collect flowers outside and with each representing what they're grateful for. And how my 7-year-old daughter had said, as one of the things she was grateful for, amongst many the other two things, she said she was grateful for the emotions of anger even. And it, to me, because she said she could feel it, she could let it arise, and she could let it go. And I was really taken aback by her perspective at such a young age to be able to get that she just had such she felt so neutral around the idea of emotions that she didn't see it as a bad emotion, but as an experience.
Right.
And so gratitude can show up also in our experience as human beings and all that shows up, and not need to call it like a bad experience or a good experience, but just an experience and be in gratitude of all of it.
Well,
what are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, thank you for asking. There's a place where, you know, as we get a little more mature, and I love this from the mouths of babes, right, from your daughter, as we get older, as we get more mature, and we realize that things happen for us, right? They don't happen to us, they happen for us. And the lessons that we're learning in those moments, we can't always see, right? We can't see them in the moment, but we can see them later, right? As time goes by, we start to understand why things happen or how they happen. And there's an experience there for all of us. And just the gratitude for what is. I think that's extremely powerful. And I want to say that that's a daily practice, right? I think that's really a daily practice for each of us. It's not a someday we're going to get it all figured out and then we've got it done and we're done. I find that, you know, for me, one of the things that's an important part of my self-care is starting my day each day with a gratitude practice. It's really remembering all the blessings that I have. So before I get out of bed in the morning, when I wake, I have time scheduled, right, to actually, before I actually have to be anywhere, to be in peace, to be in gratitude, to remember my blessings, to go through my core values, my circle of life, the things that really matter to me, and remember to give thanks for them, because it does create, you know, our focus creates more of what we're wanting. And all too often, again, when we're focusing on what we don't want, we get more of that as well. So the opportunity lies in focusing on what we do want and having that become our reality and getting more of that.
Right. And to recognize as well, would you say that when challenges or more difficult periods of our life show up, that even having gratitude for those, not meaning wanting it to be there, but if it shows up anyway, to just understand that there is a bigger picture that we may not see or understand in the moment. But the pain truly comes when we resist it, try to understand it, or wish it to be different than it is. Because let's face it, in life there's going to be tough moments, whether we intend it to be love and joy and happiness all the time. There's going to be grief that shows up. There's going to be sadness or anger, even, like my daughter said, it shows up.
Yeah.
And so how do you see gratitude playing into moments like that?
Well, my belief system is, Carole, that if we're alive and breathing, that God's not done with us, right? Otherwise, He'd take us home. So we're here for a reason. We're here to learn. We're here to be students, and we're here to grow. I also believe that if we're not growing, we're dying. So for some of us that love to learn and love to grow, it's a wonderful thing, and we look for growing pleasures, as you've heard me say, instead of growing pains. It doesn't mean that painful experiences don't happen. It doesn't mean that there aren't challenges. But what I ask for when I am faced with a tough time is, I really pray for guidance on what is it that I'm supposed to be learning here. I don't know if you know that I was really sick this year. I started being sick in the middle of November. I was sick for almost 6 weeks with a heavy, heavy case of bronchitis, and I've never had it before. And, so my prayer in that time was to please be shown what it is that you want me to learn, right? Like, what is it that I need to do to take care and repair this body that's been so strong and so healthy and taken such good care of me for such a long time? And where do I own what I did to let myself get, kind of worn down, right? We all have times we can do that. The stressors kick in, our house flooded, and stuff was happening. But at the same time, I know that the body is such a gift, right? It's such a gift to be in the body and to have these opportunities, to have experiences, to feel and have sensations and enjoy emotions. And we have to take care of it. We have to be good stewards of it. And I think, again, when something's not working, it's an opportunity for us to stop what we're doing and really check in and ask for guidance from divine, if that's your belief system, or to check in and take an inventory of your own habits, your own behaviors that might have led to that experience, and really decide, and choose, is this something that I want to keep happening? If we lose a loved one, if there's something that we don't feel like we have control over, I think the gratitude can be the greatest gift in allowing us to really remember the positive, right? Remember the great experiences, not to make ourselves wrong for what we didn't do, but instead to celebrate what we did do, the gift of having the experience of being with another person and being related to them.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and I think that helps to heal as well through whatever we may be going through. So thank you for sharing that. It's powerful wisdom. Because to even be sick for that long and to be able to still see the beauty and the perfection in all of it is something incredible. Yeah, well, it was very clear that I played a part in it, that there were some things I needed to slow down and listen to, for sure, in my life and my own experience, and that I could choose not to put myself in a position to get sick again. Now, it doesn't mean that doesn't mean I can't catch a cold, but, Scott said to me, we've been married 17 years. He said, I've never seen you even have a cold for more than a day or two. He's like, everything just goes through your body so quickly. And so, clearly there was something going on. Wow. Yeah. How would you say in your experience as an entrepreneur and businesswoman and how things evolved for you, because I know that things didn't just fall in your lap, that you worked very hard to get to where you're at, but would you say that gratitude did catapult you from one part of your life to the next, to the next, to the next, from one business experience to the other? Well, I think it goes back to one, the sweet, generous compliment you gave me at the beginning of this call.
about how we're being in the world. There's a whole lot of things that happen that we don't have control over, right? And as a mama that we teach our children, or at least we try to guide them, that they can't always control what's happening. They can not control other people's actions, but they can control our reaction, right? And in business, when there's a challenge that arises, or the cash flow isn't coming in, or it doesn't seem like we're not attracting clients correctly, we could choose to stay in what's wrong, or we could choose to really look at that opportunity of as a signal to move in a new direction. Every business that I've ever built and every business that I've had the opportunity to support as a consultant, we do the best we can with what we can see and the tools we have in the current moment. But I really have experienced time and time again that because the business is its own entity, right? It's not really an expression of us. We make it an expression of us initially because we don't know any better. But what we're doing is it's like we're raising adults, right? We're raising children. At some point when it becomes an adult and it has a life of its own, it's going to go on and create service and provide solutions to problems for other people. And we probably won't be involved if we've actually built a true business. So anytime things are not working well in a business, be it building team, be it cash flow, be it attracting clients, what I always look for is, great, what would be working? If this isn't working, if this isn't flowing, where's the right solution? And what else do I need to try next? And there's something about getting in action and trying things that kind of pushes us back on track when we're off track. And I find that to be an ongoing process. Again, just like the body or the experience of love or the experience of health, building wealth, any of these things, it's an ongoing practice.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And within your business and within your professional stance, one thing that I always notice is just how heart-centered you still remain. Like you have this brilliant mind and this wealth of knowledge around success and abundance, and yet what differentiates you from others that I've met is just like your connection to the bigger picture, and then your connection with relating with your clients and with the people you associate with, you see as a beautiful dance between the two of you. And that's how it shows up for me when I met you and when I continue to get to know you, is the gratitude that is constantly there in that space, and not just a number at the end of the day. It's about creating that community globally and in your everyday life with the people in front of you. So thank you for showing up in that way and being a mentor to me and to so many others.
It's my pleasure. And it's great to be me, just like it's great to be you. And if we actually can recognize that, it gets to be greater. I don't really know how to make it any simpler. Right? It is that place of why not be in gratitude? Why not be in thankfulness? And why not be in generosity? It just keeps growing. It keeps expanding us. And again, the greatest way to get out of a place of self-doubt or a place of scarcity or a place of fear is to change our focus away from ourselves. And we have great teachers and great leaders who have come through and shown us that, right? So when we can focus on someone else and we can put that love forward, it always comes back to us tenfold, at least.
Yeah, absolutely. No, seen that time and time again. So tell us what's going on in your world. I'm so grateful you've been able to fit us in today into your very busy schedule, but what is coming up in the months to come? And I didn't mention earlier, but you have 2 books, Stop the Spinning and Limitless Women, that people can order on Amazon. I saw it there, and I owned the books as well, but just what is coming up in the next while for you, and how can people reach you or connect with you?
Thank you for asking. So I would say if anybody's interested in getting a free copy of Stop the Spinning, which is my first book, you only need to go to Laura, Laura, free book, laurafreebook.com, and there's an opt-in page there where you can download a copy of the book, an e-copy, if you'd like to have that. It's my pleasure to share that with you. And then as far as, I host 3 live events each year as fundraisers for charity where we do intensive business training. And our next one coming up is Limitless Women in April. Then we do Money Marketing and Sales Secrets in June, and then we'll do the Path to Freedom in October. And I'm hoping you're going to be with us at all of them, Ms. Carole. And so we, the best thing to do is go online to limitlesswomen.com and, learn about the event there. And you can also visit me at my name, lauragisborne.com. But, our events, we don't sell tickets. We ask people to pay a lunch fee and then join us in making a donation to charity. So whatever donation, we have people that are coming in, they're really struggling. They might be able to only donate $10. Then we have other people that can donate $1,000. So people do what they can, but in community, again, we come together and support one another, and we grow together and share resources, and our events are really, really a lot of fun. So anybody that wants to come join us, it would be great to have you with us.
So they go to lauragisborne.com, right, for all that information?
Yep, they can go to lauragisborne.com to kind of see more about, what the books and me as a speaker. But the next live event is limitlesswomen.com.
Okay, perfect. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Laura, for joining us today.
Such a pleasure. And thank you for having me.
It's always amazing to have conversation with you and sharing what you've come to see and understand, and it's a great topic that we could go on and on about. Gratitude is never spoken about too much. So thank you for being here with us today. Thank you as well as all our listeners. You're welcome. And thank you to our listeners, and if anyone, family or friends that think you would enjoy this call, feel free to pass the link, and wishing everyone a great rest of your day. Thank you, Laura, and thank you to all our listeners.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Expanding Forward radio show with your host, Carole Lewitsky. To find out more about Carole, you can visit www.expandingforward.com or check her out on Facebook at facebook.com/expandingforward.